Okay, we're starting off with Domino. Maybe I should have used the smaller boost first, but whatever. Hey, Double P. Black Wolf, welcome. Okay. We'll go for Special 2 next time after we use the Striker so that we have the bleed bonus. But let's see what this does. Excuse me! There's no way on God's green earth that heavy should have landed. Hey Brian, welcome. Hey Oxygen. Nice. That'll come close to finishing at least. Nice. Nice, Double P. We'll see. I'd still try to have some semblance of class balance. ATC. Sorry, Viraj, I don't really track that stuff. Come on, buddy. Hey, TC, get him on. I know how it happened, that he crossed the 15% threshold, and that's why he gained the armor up. But that timing was still terrible. If we ever rework him to make him more of a defender, the Cauterize will definitely punish you more than a heal block for the poisons it removes. Because it's always weird how you're grateful for him to throw that special. And it's terrible offensively. Alright. Misty versus Taskmaster. I'm going to need to learn how to play Misty as we go, but that's fine. Two on parry, two on decks. Lights and mediums. Cool. Whoops, wrong ones. Right, wrong ones again. Okay, so it's not when she... Yeah, okay. I think I follow. We don't really need to worry about the cold snap in this one. I just need to learn how to play her. That was some pretty bad lag. Now, light combo enders to hold on to that. Yeah, okay. Those really are too short to deal with the opponent's specials. I'm on the third fight images of the second path. I don't follow, nerd. You're going to need to be significantly more specific. No, it doesn't only refresh when you're at equilibrium. It just needs to be one that you're at max charges of. So what I was failing early on was because I'm not used to her, after the special 2, you need to make sure that you are ending in lights to gain the anti-metal, the yellow charges, because that's what you have left. Don't end in mediums for the cryogenic, because that's not at max, and so you won't benefit from it. What? Okay. Did I do the wrong one again? Okay, I think I might be having some trouble with her medium versus her light ender. I may have still said it wrong there, but like that's the thing. You have to do the one that's at max, I guess. Hey, Misty. I mean, everybody is easier if things pause during the opponent's specials. I don't think it's a lever we need to hit every time, right? Like that's just one of those things. Every single time a champion comes out, people are going to be like, I just wish that this paused so it was easy to upkeep. I just wish this character had a taunt. Like, I'm sorry. You have to deal with some upkeep. It's part of the game. Hers do seem tuned a little too short. Hey, Silver. And welcome, Brian. Thought they both needed to be maxed. Maybe they do, because it didn't work. In which case, it's just that much harder to hold on to things. Which probably makes sense, because otherwise maybe it'd be too easy to stay unblockable, but then they really need to be longer. Anyway, Immortal Hulk, I have down Blade. Good luck, Dasher. I think the answer to who I pulled last night's pretty obvious at the moment, DJ. Let me know if you need a clue. Nope. I really find his special one in particular difficult. I used to be better at it, because I would fight him every day in AQ. You just have to be very intentional about it. That was dumb. Okay, let's just heal for a little bit, shall we? I love it when they bounce off the back wall. It's so cool. The AI really needs to be banned from starting combos with lights. Hey, Chris, thanks for the super chat and the chuckle. Yes, I'm Jed. I did do the Luke rework. That one was my fault. Misjudged a stun. 100% my bad. It's annoying how quickly they come up out of stuns, but it's also my fault. Bro! Illy, I know you're joking. I told you I didn't find it funny the first time. Please don't make me be uncool about it. Just trying to create some distance here. Even with the lights! It doesn't matter because their lights are faster. Dude! That was stupid. I got lucky there for not being punished. So frustrating. I was going for a parry there, and he just caught me. My guard was down. That one was my bad. Bad spacing. I'm getting tilted. Fine. Hey, Robbie, how's it going? This account does not have deep wounds on Judd, and the special one wasn't really working out for pacing for me. Not when I was focusing on healing. Like the hit count isn't the issue. The issue is that you eventually need to go for intercepts on this fight because his heavy is 3 hits. And when I eventually went for intercepts, sometimes he just gave me a giant green middle finger. Hey, Steven, that one was tilting, but it's whatever. Alright. Smaller maw for this Ghost Rider. No, Viraj, we're not. We're. Read the room, my friend. Like, I disagree with that for substantive reasons, but I'm not even in the mood to talk about it right now. Okay. Do not push to special 2. Hey, Obed. I mean, Blades is capped at 70%, which is intended to do a similar thing, but yes. Missing health regen is a good thing. Of course, that right there is the number one thing that I want to change about the AI. I don't know how much of a rework it's going to take, but them being able to just idle forward without the wait time that we have to have, beyond tilting. No, you're not just giving suggestions, Viraj. You're complaining, and you're doing it after a very clearly tilting fight. That's what I mean by read the room, is that, like, it's not just anything. I'm asking you to have a little bit of awareness of how things are going when you... I don't think that's unfair. There is no fourth mission for Ma Amjad. I think you're confusing it with his 4 charges. You get one persistent charge within a fight when you complete all 3 missions. That's different. Oh, come on. You were not blocking, you were comboing. Stupid fishbowl. Hmm. The answer is the same as the last 2 times you asked me that exact question, Viraj. Alright, Maw for Guardian. Watch for the combo count. And then notice when the falter's up. No, you're not going to ask it again and again. Not here. Because I've asked you to stop. If it's not publicly announced, I am not at liberty to discuss it, even if it is happening. stop poking. Like, I'm not going to yell at anyone who comes in and asks the question, because it's a decently, like, I understand why it's in the zeitgeist, but you specifically have been told to not. And so if you are going to act like a kid who can't follow instructions, I'm going to treat you like one. Right, let's get back on the 5 count. Okay, we could have gone for another special 3 and then it would have been a kill, but that's fine. Because we still have to chew through Lazarus anyway. Yeah, no, this fight is definitely one of the easier ones, Shark. There's, like, nothing going on here. His regen isn't nearly potent enough for it to actually be an RPG ask. You can do this with anyone. And since my Guardian isn't duped, he basically is anyone. He has some utility, but there's not really anything on these paths that asks for the ability to parry non-contact or perfect block specials. So he's basically just a nuke. Kind of along the topic I just covered, Erdy. This is not a news channel. I don't have an answer for you there. Alright, Moondragon for Spider-Ham. Hey, Harry. I'm doing okay. The Hulk fight was tilting, not gonna lie. And that's been a significant chunk of what I've done this morning, time-wise. But it's okay. I know this is going to push him to special 2, but we'll at least be at 0 power and he'll be at low nonsense, so we can't afford to block it once. Beautiful. No, she is not careless. I mean, it depends on what you mean, Amjad. Because if you mean like otherwise vanilla fight, the fastest you can possibly ramp, then yeah, it's Professor X because you parry heavy. But if you mean who gets there faster ambiently, I think Serpent has an easier job of getting to the special one, but I could be wrong. Yeah, in Psionic Transcendence, Moondragon prevents opponents from failing full stop. She's quite good. And the reason that I brought her here is because she goes into Psionic Transcendence very quickly against Power Stingers. Okay, now we bring in Venom. What current game mechanic? That's such a difficult question because so many, quote, game mechanics are just emergent gameplay and weren't actually designed as such. The biggest one for me, though, is critical hits. For those of you who don't know, when the game launched, critical hits ignored 20% of armor and resistances. At some point around 12.0, when basically a switch got flipped somewhere in the coding, and that turned into the inverse of it. And so critical hits ignored 80% of armor and resistances. This wasn't noticed for a few months, and so players got used to it. And so when they noticed it and went to revert it, players got angry because if even a week passes, somebody claims they're relying on it. I'm being a little unfair here. It was long enough people were used to it, right? But the problem is that they left it alone because of backlash. And so that's just what we're stuck with. And so I would argue that one of the largest design problems in our entire game is that critical hits are something that it doesn't make sense for all players to have. Critical hits are something that is best concentrated in a few classes around a few mechanics, but critical hits are way overpowered. They just cut through too many defenses. And so that would be the biggest thing I would change. I'm not sure it would need to go back to 20. I would be very curious to see how the game feels if crits just bypass 50%. But if I had carte blanche to change something tomorrow, that would be it. Because if you think about it, like a character built around critical hits doesn't care about resistance at all. A character like what do I want to call it? Yeah, like let's say Captain Sam or like Idoom or Guardian, right? Who we just used. They're built around crit replacements, but they replace their crits with a typed form of damage. And so that energy or physical damage is always going to be subject to resistances. This is why Guardian has that armor interaction in his kit, is to solve for the fact that he otherwise wouldn't have any way to deal with armor. Crossbones similarly has something for physical resistance. Like it's if you try and make a character that isn't reliant on crits, it becomes this big thing where they also don't have the weapon that is crits to deal with defenses. And it's just hugely warping to our overall game design. And sure, people are used to it. Years of champions have been balanced around the current interaction. I'm not saying that like I would actually flip the switch right now and tell everybody to deal with it. But if my carte blanche, you can change one thing, comes with and then you get dedicated balance support to look into the differences or something for a little bit, and you guarantee that the community doesn't blow up because of it, then that's what I would change. Because I think so many things in the game would be so much more interesting and nuanced, and we would actually have more discussions about RPG abilities and how to counter these things other than don't care, big yellow numbers, her. Like, ugh. I don't know that he needs it, R7. I think he just needs to have less of a trade off between utility and damage. Last champion I designed, Erdi, was Patriot, and before that, Serpent. I mean, the community blows up if we sneeze wrong, so I don't really care about that, but I would just. Before I make that particular wish from a genie, I would want a guarantee that it was a medium or smaller blow up and not a giant one, so to speak. That's not really a fair representation of what 12.0 was, Amon. Having been there for 12.0, the problem with it was much more that damage mitigation got hit so hard, and so you just couldn't block anymore, than it was that you weren't doing any damage. I think I'm gonna have to restart my iPad. That was bad. That was very bad. I'm making a note here of that in case another replay helps our engineers. Been really lucky on the buff RNG here since we haven't been able to re-roll any of it with him just sitting there and not throwing specials. Nice, Finn. I'm glad that helped. Yeah, it's a huge thing that I know a lot of people probably still haven't gotten. To clarify for anyone not understanding, since we have over 70 people here at the moment, what FinTech is talking about there is that Serpent's specials obviously prevent you from dexing with the True Strike, and the first hit is unblockable, but that doesn't mean it's unblockable and unavoidable. A lot of people think that, but if you think back to, if you can, before you unlocked the Dexterity Mastery, you were still able to avoid characters' dash attacks, right? You were still able to avoid a medium attack at the wall. That's because, on a more fundamental level than dexterity, the game has built in invulnerability frames during the dodge animation. And while that window is tighter, it's also not reliant on the mastery. And so for Serpent's special 1 and special 2, the first hit of both is a melee attack, meaning that it can be avoided with the dodge animation even if you don't have access to the dexterity mastery. And that was the core ask of the design. That's why the unblockable is there, right? So that you have to dodge to avoid those hits if you don't have the ability to block unblockable, but that you trade him gaining a Cold Force charge if you dodge back during his special attack. The design goal was not, haha, you get hit, which I think a lot of people took it as because they don't understand that mechanic. And I get it, I know it's subtle, but I was hoping people would catch on a bit more than they have. And that's a lesson learned, but whatever. That part was never on the table for taking back. Yeah, I mean, saying most people were mad because of one thing or another is never really gonna work because bluntly, when everybody is mad, a lot of people are mad for reasons they haven't fully thought through. That's just kind of how crowds work. Um, but I do think that, Amon, you have a point. One of the worst optics things about 12.0 was that they sold Doctor Strange in a special crystal right before the whole thing. It was rough. I'm going to use the restroom and grab some water real quick. I will be back in like a minute. And I will catch up on chat. Then we'll move on to the next one. But catch y'all in 1 sec. Okay, I'm back. So I totally understand your point, Finn, on the iframes. And you and I have both talked. You know that I want there to be more communication on the fundamental mechanics of this game everywhere. There is so much I want to explain. Says the guy running a teaching channel. Um, but I think the counter argument I have there is that there's also no mention anywhere of your attacks having hit stun, or of the hit stun on your landed attacks being longer than the block stun when you hit into block, right? There's no mention of the fact that an attack window opens, allowing you to take action before a special animation is strictly done, which is why you can cancel out of things like Professor X's special animations. Like, before you even get to things like, we don't really define what an intercept is because we just should. That should be in the glossary. um, before you even get to that, there's kind of some things, some assumptions that are baked into the bones of this game because of its roots as a fighting game, even though it's like, I don't like calling it a fighting game, that I think it is fair to build into a little bit. Games tend to mention dodging in their tutorials. I do we not in ours? Is there not something about dodging to avoid combos at least? I haven't seen our tutorial in about 2 years. So this is a legitimate question. And I take your point either way. There's dashing back and forth. You dodge Magneto's heavy in the tutorial. And I can see an argument. Thank you, Brian. That's helpful. I can see an argument there that that's simply showing you can outrange things as opposed to showing you can actually dodge things. And I think that is the idea of training grounds. It's something that we could be much, much better at. It's expensive to develop. It basically requires a lot of high level scripting work from a designer like me doing something outside of their comfort zone to make those tutorials. And the last few times that we've built tutorials, there have been like engineering problems that have caused things to break elsewhere in the game. So I think it's a little bit blacklisted at the moment. But I would like us to do more there because, like I said, I don't like considering this a fighting game because that kind of misses the mark. The fighting game side of it is too simple, which is a virtue because it leaves room for all of the RPG interactions in the game. It's why I like the game. But I think there is enough of a fighting game in here that MCOC should have a more developed training grounds, the same way that like games like Soul Calibur, you go and you can play through tutorials that teach you each individual mechanic, and you can go back and do that no matter how far you are in the game. You can walk away from the game for 3 years, come back to your same account, and go, hold on, I need to brush up on what a reversal edge is, and you can go learn it again. I think we should have that. Like, you don't have to make the beginning tutorial super in depth, right? I think that's a mistake a lot of games make. I think what you want to do is you want to have a beginning tutorial, get players into the action, and then after they've been hooked enough, after you've been playing for like, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes. I'm not an early game designer, so please don't take that part as gospel. In my opinion, it's most effective to then go, hey, by the way, there's more information over here, right? And then like you can build in something else where it's like, okay, no, you didn't want to learn the information. You wanted to go play with Wolverine. You already pulled a 4-star, so you're way overpowered. You don't need to know any of this. That's fine. But let's put a flag on your account. And when you die 3 times to the same fight 2 months from now, then let's remind you about the training grounds. Right? Like something along those lines is, I think, what the game needs. The loading screen tips. Dude, that actually is something where we could just go through and rework a bunch of those and get them translated. I'm gonna make a note to myself because I don't have time. But like that is definitely something where we as designers could spend some time going through and being like, what no longer makes sense? What are things we wish players knew? First up, I need to I have to get somebody to show me where those strings live so that I can get a list of all the ones we have right now. Hey, K Dog, how's it going? Welcome to Sama. I think Havoc's fine to rank 2 on Duped, yeah. He's definitely better if he's bigger. Fable of every game. The funny thing is that like my favorite loading screen stuff is actually the way that the Total War games handle it, which is just quotes from people. Like when Total War was a mostly historical series, it was just quotes from historical characters. Like for Rome, it was a bunch of Roman generals and orators. For the Yeah, there's just like a bunch of historical quotes about war, and I always thought that was interesting. And then when it got into the fantasy stuff, there were like made up quotes from fantasy characters. Like that kind of stuff is super fun. But actually having good loading screen tips sounds good too. Anyway, I'm noticing our viewer count dropping. Maybe I should get to playing a little bit. Okay, Sinister for stealthy. Yeah, I think if the loading screen had stuff that you didn't know or that wasn't actually wrong, a lot more people would read them. That is definitely like the kind of thing that can serve the same function as somebody watching one of my streams and me saying something like this offhand and them going, "Oh." Like that's we want that, right? Nice outline. I still need to read the Song of Achilles myself, but I'm really glad you've been enjoying that and Cersei. Cersei's so good. I don't like ranking stuff like that alone. Sorry. Excuse me. I blocked. Okay, I need to manage this a little bit better. Okay, we're fine here. Just bait out some specials. Ooh, Foresight. Please, please give me a freaking... Aha! uh, even another 2 seconds of that was nice. I mean, tapping the screen doesn't help if it's a loading screen, Brian. You're not making it go faster. I don't think we should design around that. Mangog. Definitely a bit intimidated by this one. But it's what we got. Why are we getting a reverberation call out? Oh, I have a suspicion. That's fine. Dang it. At least you're not using Mojo. Good lord, lining up those special ones sounds miserable. Oh, because I wasn't unstoppable anymore because it's Doctor Strange. You jerk. That was dumb. Let's just misread the note. Yeah, I gotcha. For I shouldn't have done that, because now he's just going to go red. Yep, there it is. Okay, well. That's just a bug, Aiden. No, the update's not dropping today because it's a holiday in Canada. Hey, Hike, welcome. I'm not remotely upset about reviving to this fight. It's kind of dumb, and I don't have any of the best options. Come on, buddy. So hard to get these off once they're up. Mystic Dispersion is not doing us any favors. Hey, Mike. Okay, got the stagger. Come here. I can't believe. Oh, I cannot believe that heavy didn't land. Okay. I'm going to catch up on chat for a minute because I cannot handle this level of lag. This is ridiculous. Okay. Turning off the capture card for a minute. Fully restarting the iPad. Let's read. Okay. It'd be too much if his hatred fell off one at a time. I mean, at the current duration, absolutely, that would be ludicrous. If it was balanced around falling off one at a time, I don't think it would actually be a nice touch. I think it would be a pretty significant nerf because you wouldn't have the same bonuses throughout the super mode. So I don't understand the hope there. I was fine with either images. They're both going to be done well. Nah, restarting the game isn't enough, R7. I restarted it earlier before streaming. I realize that you're probably speaking from your experience. Streaming puts different loads on devices than just playing normally. And in my past experience, I've had to restart the whole device. Okay, time to redo masteries because Symbiote Supreme. It's kind of silly that titles show you whatever the new title is, but profile pictures don't show you whatever the new profile picture is. Yeah, I mean, they both could. It's silly that we can't search titles. Because that's basically the only thing that's going well on the title screen. Invisible Woman is only stressful if you're really worried about the speed of your fight. Like, trust me, I get it. Losing your ramp sucks. Just don't put that much weight on it. You're not using her in battlegrounds. And you're not trying to out-damage healing. How much does it really matter? Jesus, Finn, that's... More power to you, dude. Hold on. What kind of protection is this? Knockdown. Okay, cool. That is annoying. That means we lose our ramp anyway. Wait, what? Oh. Literally didn't notice the stun immune. Okay. Gonna have to be a little bit more careful there. I didn't realize you lose the invisibility if the fragility is purified. Is that what happened? This is not going to be quick. I realized it was ebb and flow knockdown. I 100% would have put a striker on. Apologize in advance about that. Okay, that's how we make progress in this fight. That was good. Alright, we wait for the special 3 to come back. We throw the special 3 to get extra strength on the force field. We build to the special 2. We're going to lose our invisibility in the ramp up here, but that's fine. We need the special 3 for the extra force field, because what we're trying to do is we're building to the special 2 while we have very high force field, so that we can then get a bigger Fury and do all of that damage on basics after the special 2 like we did that time. That's what I was hoping would work, and thankfully it did. Unfortunately, we lost a bit right there. But I think this is still worth it because we're going to be at 150. Dang it. Okay, at that point I'm going to go to the special 3 again and just get the bigger force field. Unfortunate mistake. But I'm also feeling very good about how this fight's going overall, so I'm not really worried. There we go. Now we can go invisible. One more special 2 without the extra build-up, and we're good. Beautiful. Agility also decreases block proficiency. Yeah, Luke and Hulk do not have fragility. No, Sunder attacks critical resistance, not physical resistance. Okay, she was great for that. I've really been enjoying her on this account. She's basically my Silk here. Just annoying that I have to turn off masteries to use her as such. Excuse you. No, other way around, Obed. Exhaustion does not reduce ability power rate by default. A few characters specifically reduce ability power rate while they have exhaustion active. The default is for it to not do that. Good old snap lights. Yeah, and crit damage versus crit chance. I missed that. Thank you, that's important. Saying do not take my word for it. Okay. Warlock is what we ranked Gallon for. I know the special one evades sometimes. Let's see if today is included in sometimes. Oh, I'm also no longer boosted. I know Gallon specifically doesn't care that much about the boosting, but his health pool does. So let's do this. We try really hard at that depression, but it's, yeah, a little tricky. Dude! Famous Warlock heavy from across the field. It's been a while. I didn't miss you. Redlining. Okay, that's the thing. Ebb and flow heavy. Nah, debuff summaries I don't think fit on loading screens. Sorry to push back on that one. Unfortunate timing on Harvest there. Wolf. We're gonna be here for a while. Take care, Mom. I wouldn't call it like Korgs, because Korgs I feel is more... Korgs for me is more rhythm. That was close. Korgs for me is more rhythm. Warlocks, I actually look at it. That's the main reason I make that distinction. Are you serious? His basic moveset tilts me so much. Ouch. Dead. Dead, dead, dead. I needed to find room for the heavy in there. That's unfortunate. Holy cow, I'm not dead. I mean, I'm about to be. Yep, there it is. Hey, Zephyr. That's fine. We're using a non-leveled rank 2, right? Yeah. I'm not going to be too upset about that, even though the 2 times before the end that I got hit felt very stinky poo-poo. Alright, throw this. It's going to put us into Harvest. We have the Striker. We can knock him down. Just please, please, please don't hold your special too. Beautiful. Bullseye special unparryable? Not all the hits, no. No, no! Oh, that's what I get for reading chat during an animation. Don't die, don't die, don't die. Woo! Mistakes were made. Yeah, Bullseye's special one is fully dexable. It's just difficult. It's not fully parryable. Hmm. Very rude. Not very mindful. Thank you, Mandrox. One more. There is not Madrox? When I make... Hold on, I'm sending a Slack message right now. We'll see if it comes back in a few months. Oh, isn't there? There might be. One second. I'll be right back again. Okay, I'm back. I see we're discussing unnecessarily difficult special texts. Alright. Purgatory. This should work. We have access to a neutralize, we have access to a power steal, we can push to special 2. The neutralize won't work, never mind. But the rest of this, I think, makes sense. Let's see. No! I mean, that part works, but God, he's annoying. That's fine. This is still, I think, worth it over the other options this account had. I just need to be a little bit more mindful of the fact that it's not just the specials that are unblockable, but also the basics. Funny how that ends up mattering. Fine. That's okay. He was going to throw it one way or another. And that was a good run. Don't get hit. Thanks, bud. If I get... I know, knock on wood. But if I get this down here, I will have actually used fewer revives on this account than on my main. And I will take that as a massive victory. I'm okay with the fact that we're even close. Boom. I think we only need one more. Obviously, we've gotten better regen luck at the moment here, but still. That is why we brought her. Okay. Now, gore for Kang number 1. Small gore. Thanks, guys. We're making do on this account. Dang it. Jerk. I know you can heavy to pause the timer. I was trying to bait a heavy so that we didn't use our stuns. Because remember, you only have so many of those. This should do a decent amount. Cool. Throw it. Funny thing about gore is getting hit periodically, but not too hard, is actually beneficial. Hey, villain. Jerk. Dang it. Okay, well. It's going to be tough to get back up to 3. That's fine. He didn't play nice with us the time before. Too close. I don't know if this is going to do enough damage. We lost all of our build-up. Alright, that's a pretty epic way to finish him. Okay. Halfway. Thank you, everyone. Easy. I don't know that I saw you earlier. Alright, I'm gonna call, oh, okay, fine. I'll swap the champion. We're starting with the duck. I'm gonna call this stream here. I need to go eat and make a Trader Joe's run. But I will be back, soonish. And then we'll knock this out. Alright, take care, everyone. Thanks so much. See you soon.